Hello, my bookworm friends. Kim here, and welcome to Bookworm Buzz. In today's video, my bookworm friends, I am going to be sharing with you my most anticipated reads for March 2025. Now, this is a series on my channel where I film a video once a month letting you guys know what I'm excited about, what books are going to be published and released in the upcoming month. I love filming these videos. This has become one of my favorite videos to film because I love checking out the new releases, and also this becomes a little bit of almost a library, a YouTube library for me, where I can go back and rewatch these videos and see which books I haven't read yet, which books I was looking forward to, and which books I need to get my hands on ASAP. So join me today, my friends, as we take a look at 10. Yes, I have 10 releases that I'm very excited about and that I want to share with you today. So in this video, I actually could have, in all honesty, I could have given you more. I had quite a long list of books that I am excited about that are releasing in March 2025, but I decided to cut my list down and to only share with you my top 10 today. So grab a coffee, grab a glass of wine, whatever it is that you enjoy, and settle in and join me today while we chat about new releases. Right, my friends, so I am going to kick things off now by saying there is no specific order in which I'm going to be referring to these books. I just have a list of 10 that I'm excited about, and I'm just going to run through them with you. But let me just say this. The first book that I want to tell you about would actually, if I was doing a list, be in number one position, because of course it is a release by my favorite author, Ashley Winstead. So basically, guys, I will put up the book covers, the images over here, so that you guys can see what the covers look like, so that when you are book shopping, it is easier for you to associate the book with what I'm saying today. So the book that I am so excited about by Ashley Winstead is called This Book Will Bury Me. Now, guys, I think I've mentioned in videos before that I just love this author. I love her writing style, and her books tend to really work for me. They can often be a bit dark, and so you do need to be comfortable sometimes with dark subject matter. And I know in the last book I read by this author, she did in fact include some trigger warnings right at the beginning of her book. I don't know if this one is going to be the same, but let me tell you what the blurb for this one says, you guys. I think it sounds excellent and I can't wait. So basically this one, according to Goodreads, says that it is expected to be released on or about the 25th of March 2025. So right, guys, this is the blurb from this book. It's the most famous crime in modern history, but only she knows the true story. After the unexpected death of her father, college student Jane Sharp longs for a distraction from her grief. She becomes obsessed with true crime, befriending armchair detectives who teach her how to hunt killers from afar. In this morbid internet underground, Jane finds friendship, purpose, and even glory. So when news of the shocking deaths of 3 college girls in Delphine, Idaho takes the world by storm, the sleuths everywhere race to solve the crimes. Jane and her friends are determined to beat them. But the case turns out to be stranger than anyone expected. Details don't add up, the police are cagey, and there seems to be more media hype and internet theorizing than actual evidence. When Jane and her sleuths take a step closer, they find that every answer only begs more questions. Something's not adding up, and they begin to suspect their killer may be smarter and more prolific than any they've faced before. Placing themselves in the center of the story starts to feel more and more like walking into a trap. Told 1 year after the astonishing events that concluded the case and left the world reeling, when Jane has finally decided to break her silence about what really happened, she tells the true story of the Delphine massacres, and what she has to confess will shock even the most seasoned true crime fans. So tell me that one does not sound amazing, gang. I mean, I will read anything that this author publishes, but I mean, obviously it does help when the blurb really pulls me in, as this one has. So this I am going to be putting right up to the top of my TBR. And as soon as this one is published, I plan on grabbing a copy and getting reading. Right, my friends, and then the next book I want to tell you about that I'm super excited about is this one called Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. Now, I must just tell you, those of you who have been following me for a while will know that I am an ardent thriller lover. You can give me thrillers, crime, psychological thrillers, I love it all. But this year I am going to make an effort to read a little bit out of my comfort zone and to read from some genres that I haven't dabbled in before. So in this video today, and maybe I should have said this in my introduction, but it's fine, I'm saying it now. In my video today, you might see some books that are not traditional sort of thrillers, and they're a little bit out of my comfort zone, and that is intentional because I really want to diversify my reading this year. I will always read thrillers, and I'm sure I will always love thrillers. But when you read as many thrillers as I do, you can reach a stage where sometimes they can become a little bit, I don't know if monotonous is the right word, but they can become a little bit same. And so I think it is important for me to try and read some different things, you know, also just to make sure I don't go into a reading slump. So this one, guys, is a little bit different. This one would be more in the fantasy romance category. Now, that may shock some of you because I do not and have never been a romance reader. Fantasy, yes, when I was much younger, I used to read quite a lot of fantasy, but romance never. But, you know, that said, when I heard about this book and I read the blurb, I really wanted to add this one to my TBR. So, my friends, here goes. They've loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes. They've killed each other in every single one. Evelyn remembers all her past lives. She also remembers that in every single one, she's been murdered before her 18th birthday by Arden, a supernatural being whose soul and survival is tethered to hers. The problem is that she's quite fond of the life she's in now, and her little sister needs her for bone marrow transplants in order to stay alive. If Evelyn wants to save her sister, she'll have to 1. Find the centuries-old devil who hunts her through each life before they find her first. Figure out why she's being hunted and finally break their curse. And 3, try not to fall in love. So guys, as you can see, very different from what I normally read. I do note also that this one has been listed as YA. YA, for those of you who don't know, means young adult. I am not a young adult fan. I don't tend to gravitate towards young adult novels, but the rest of this sounds very interesting to me. So this is going to be a book that I will read and that I'm excited to read. I'm excited to see what I think because I like the premise of this one, but let's just hope that it doesn't go too young adult for me because like I say, that is not my favorite genre, but this is still one I'm excited about and I definitely am going to try and pick it up and get to it in the next few months. Right, then book number 3 making it onto the list is this one called Count My Lies. This is by an author called Sophie Starver. Now, basically what I'm going to read is the blurb here is, well, let me say what I'm going to read to you is going to be shorter than the blurb because the blurb listed here is actually pretty long. But I think all you need to know about this book is the following. This is a read in one night suspense thriller narrated by a compulsive liar whose little white lies allow her to enter into the life and comfort of a wealthily married couple who are harboring much darker secrets themselves. For the millions of us still chasing those Gone Girls, this is perfect for fans of Lisa Jewell, Lucy Foley, and Laura Dave. So that's all I'm going to read you about this one, you guys. I think this one sounds very interesting. Like I say, the blurb goes on and basically elaborates though on what I've just said. So this is another one that I'm going to be adding to my TBR. And yeah, maybe not right near the top of my TBR, but definitely something that I am looking forward to being released in March. Next up, my friends, well, actually, before we get to next up, let me just tell you, it has just started raining outside. I'm not sure, I don't think you can see anything on the camera right now. There is a little bit of thunder around, so if you hear that, well, isn't that just amazing ASMR? I love the sound of rain and thunder and, well, I shouldn't say lightning. Lightning doesn't make a sound, but yes, I'm happy today, guys, with a little bit of an afternoon rain shower. Anyway, back to the books. No, I shouldn't say in fourth place. Let me rather say book number 4 that I want to share with you is one by this author who really needs no introduction because many of you may know and be familiar with John Mars. This is his latest release titled You Killed Me First. This one is releasing around the beginning of March. It seems that the release date is actually listed as the 4th of March, but sometimes those dates that appear on Goodreads are, I don't think they're exact. I think they're estimates. So just expect this one near the beginning of the month. This one is also described as a thriller, mystery thriller, psychological thriller, that type of genre. So, of course, this one speaks to me. But right, this is what we have here. 3 women, 3 smoldering secrets. Who will make it out alive? It's 5 November and a woman awakens in a nightmare. Bound and gagged, she lies trapped in the heart of a towering bonfire. As the smoke thickens, panic sets in. She's moments away from being engulfed in flames. How did it come to this? Rewind 11 months. Margot, a faded TV star, and her long-suffering friend Anna watch as glamorous Liv and her flawless family move into their street. The 3 women soon fabricate the perfect pretense of friendship, but each harbors her own deadly secret. A newcomer, Liv, senses something is terribly wrong beneath the polished exteriors. As cracks widen in the veneer of perfection and lies escalate out of control, tension ignites. Bonfire night is approaching and someone is set to burn, but who will it be? So again, another book that just sounds very fun, very interesting. This sort of theme of, I don't want to say best friends, but this sort of theme of a new person or family moving to the neighborhood, forming friendships with the neighbors, and something going wrong between all the women. This concept is not necessarily new in the thriller genre. I've read quite a few books like this before. So I can't say that this one is blowing me away in terms of being extremely different or novel. But I still think it sounds interesting, and it is getting very good reviews from people who have read advanced reader copies, ARCs. And so at the moment, this one is sitting with an average review on Goodreads of 4.54, which is very high. So although the blurb itself may not be necessarily extremely striking, I'm still interested to read this one, just like I say, because it is getting some amazing reviews. Some of you may remember that I have previously said that I don't read historical fiction, or that I read very little historical fiction. Well, strap yourselves in, guys, because this next book is definitely historical fiction. But having said that, I just think it sounds so interesting. And also the thing about this book is that it's actually based on a true story of a very famous trial. Okay, just on that basis, sign me up. I'm a big fan of reading about trials, anything to do with lawyers or legal courtroom dramas, I'm there. So this one is called The Girl from Greenwich Street, and this one is by Lauren Willich. I'm not too sure. It's probably Willich. It's probably Lauren Willich. But anyway, guys, this one is historical fiction. It's listed as historical fiction and mystery and true crime. So like I say, it is actually based on a true story, which I also love. So just to give you an idea of what this one is going to be about, here we go. At the start of a new century, a shocking murder transfixes Manhattan, forcing bitter rivals Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr to work together to save a man from the gallows. Just before Christmas of 1799, Emma Sands slips out of her Quaker cousin's boarding house and doesn't come home. So basically, she goes missing. Her family insists they know who killed her. Handbills circulate around the city accusing a carpenter named Levi Weeks of seducing and murdering Alma. Where was I? But privately, quietly, Levi's wealthy brother calls in a special favor. Aaron Burr's legal practice can't finance both his expensive tastes and his ambition to win the 1800s New York elections. To defend Levi Weeks is a double... I'm not sure this is written well, but let me just read you what it says here. To defend Levi Weeks is a hefty fee, plus a chance to grab headlines. Alexander Hamilton has his own political aspirations. He isn't going to let Burr monopolize the public's attention. If Burr is defending Levi Weeks, then Hamilton will do the same. As the trial and the election draw near, Burr and Hamilton race against time to save a man's life and destroy each other in the process. The blurb then goes on to say that this is part murder mystery, part thriller, and part true crime. So yes, count me in. The fact that it's got a historical fiction element, I really don't mind that. I have actually, if I'm very honest with myself, I have actually found myself really enjoying quite a lot of historical fiction novels that I have been reading in the last couple of years. And so the fact that there's historical fiction in this one does not scare me off. I love the sound of this one and I can't wait to get to it. Well, 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 what do we have here, guys? It is yet another book that is or has been described as historical fiction. So this one is described as historical fiction, mystery, and gothic. So again, like I say, I am trying to branch out from my traditional thriller genres. And so when I heard about this book and I read the blurb, I was like, yes, count me in. Another historical fiction book. So I don't know, guys, maybe this is going to be the year for me and historical fiction. Who knows? I suppose it's not impossible. Anyway, my friends, this is what you can expect from this novel. 1938. Gillian Larkin is used to going unnoticed until she is sent away to school and befriended by her roommate, the vibrant and spirited Violet Claybourne. Actually, sorry friends, I'm just thinking now, did I actually tell you what this book was called? I know it's up here on your screen, but basically this one is called The Undoing of Violet Claybourne, and the author is Emily Critchley. Right, is it Critchley, probably, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's try that again. 1938. Gillian Larkin is used to going unnoticed until she is sent away to school and befriended by her roommate, the vibrant and spirited Violet Claybourne. As the Christmas holidays approach, Gillian can't believe her luck when Violet invites her to spend them at her home, the crumbling Thornley Hall. At Thornley, Gillian is dazzled by the family's faded grandeur and above all by Violet's beguiling older sisters who seem to accept her as one of their own. But following a terrible accident in the house's grounds, Gillian begins to realize that the Claybourne sisters aren't quite what she thought they were, and if she's to survive in their world, she may have to become just like them. So this, it says, is a captivating novel of family secrets, desperate ambition, and deepest betrayal, set against the winter of 1938. So yes, very interested in this one, very interested to hear more about these beguiling older sisters and what they get up to. And like I say, yet another historical fiction novel. There's a bit of a, I don't know why I'm finding that a bit of a tongue twister. Anyway, my friends, this one comes out, it's listed as fall March. So again, like I say, that's probably not an exact date, but looking forward to seeing this one hitting the shelves in early March 2025. Then with this next novel, we are going back to the genres that I always love, being thrillers, mysteries, etc., etc. That is what we have with this book called Killer Potential by Hannah Deitch. Now, this one also has a fairly long blurb, so maybe I won't read you the entire blurb, but let me read you some of it. So basically, darkly funny and provocative, this edge-of-your-seat thrill ride follows two unlikely fugitives. A sad tutor who finds her rich employers brutally murdered and a bound woman she frees from their mansion. An irresistible debut novel for fans of The Guest and My Sister, the Serial Killer. So very excited that this is a debut. I'm always excited to hear of new authors, new reads that are coming out. It's always a great opportunity, I suppose is the word, to find a new favorite author. I love the sound of this one. Like I say, it's a pretty detailed blurb. Let me just read you small snippets of it. A scholarship kid with straight A's and big dreams, Evie Gordon always thought she was special, that she'd be someone. But after graduating from an elite university, she finds herself drowning in debt and working as a SAT or SAT tutor for the super rich of Los Angeles. But everything changes one Sunday when she arrives for her weekly lesson at the Victor's Beverly Hills estate, and in lieu of a bored teenager, she finds the bloody remains of the parents strewn through their beautiful back garden, and a woman crying for help within a closet. Hello. Doesn't that already just sound so interesting? As Evie works to free her, the two are spotted, and within moments they go from bystanders to suspects to fugitives. So, I mean, guys, I just think this one sounds like a cracker. Obviously, the blurb goes on and it tells you a lot more about what's supposed to, or what will be happening in the story and all the rest. But basically, it's just a story about how these two, well, let's just say Evie, this innocent tutor, suddenly becomes a fugitive running from the law. And basically, it just talks about, how the story is going to develop from there. There's one sentence here that, wait a minute, where is it? Yes, let me just read you this. Their breathless spree takes them across the US as developments in the case shock the nation and the press runs wild. She's now on the cover of every magazine and newspaper, anointed the new Charles Manson, a bloodthirsty 99%er looking to start a class war. Evie is finally someone. So I just think that sounds quite fun. Evie always wanted to be someone. She thought she was going to amount to something, and now she is someone, but in the worst possible way. So yes, another one that sounds great, and looking forward to reading this one. Then next up, we have the latest novel from Adele Parks, and this is called First Wife's Shadow. Now, Adele Parks has been around the block. I've read quite a few of her novels, and in general, I've always enjoyed them. I don't think any of them have been sort of top favorites of mine, but she's a good author who writes entertaining sort of thriller and mystery fiction novels. And so yes, I am excited to hear about this one and to read this one. This one is expected to come out around the middle of March. It's listed as the 18th of March for its release date. So this one is an exhilarating psychological crime thriller that will have you racing to the finish. His first wife died. Now there's a vacancy. When Emma meets Matthew, a kind, handsome widower, he seems to be just what she needs. Yet as their relationship moves fast, Emma's friends worry she might be exploited. She's a rich woman after all. Emma doesn't care that Matthew has no money, but as the memory of his perfect first wife hangs over them, Emma does have one tiny doubt. If Matthew's wife hadn't died, he wouldn't be with her, and Emma wonders if she's second best. Can she ever fill the dead woman's shoes? As jealousy and suspicion blossom between Emma and Matthew, events take a darker, dangerous turn. Okay, so basically it goes on to say that Emma doesn't know who she can trust. Can she trust her friends? Can she trust her husband, etc., etc.? So this one sounds a little bit more of what I would call, maybe, I don't know if it's a popcorn thriller per se, but it sounds more of a type of thriller that's a little bit more run-of-the-mill. So this one, even though it is on my TBR, and it will stay on my TBR, it's probably not one that I'm dashing to try and read at the moment, just because other books that I've shared with you in this video sound a little bit more different perhaps, and a little bit more interesting. But still, like I say, Adele Parks does traditionally write sorry, just waiting for the bird noise to pass. But she does traditionally write good, entertaining thrillers. And so this is one that I would like to put on or put out to you guys as a possibility if you like your thrillers. As for me, like I've said, this one will definitely go onto my TBR, but probably not near the top. And then next up, and the second last book that I have to share with you guys today, is this one from an author that in all honesty I haven't heard of before, and I don't think I've read anything by her. I'm not sure if this is a debut novel or not. It's not listed here on Goodreads as a debut novel, but it is getting good reviews. At the moment, it's got a 4.25. Obviously, those reviews are being written by readers who have received ARCs, or what you call an advanced reader's copy, but still 4.25 is pretty high. And so because of this, I definitely want to check this one out. This one is scheduled to be published and released on the 11th of March. This one is called You Deserve to Know, and it's by Aggie Blum Thompson. Right, my friends, so this is the very short, luckily this is a short blurb. Neighbors Gwen, Amy and Lisa share more than play dates and coffee mornings on their tranquil street. They confide their deepest secrets, navigate the challenges of motherhood together, and provide a support system that seems unbreakable. Then Gwen's husband is found murdered after one of their weekly Friday night dinners, and the peaceful quiet of their cul-de-sac shatters. The seemingly idyllic world of the three close-knit friends becomes a web of deception, betrayal, and revenge. So again, this one doesn't seem to be anything specifically unique. Again, as I mentioned with one of the books earlier in this video, this seems to be another story of female friends living on the same street and then something going wrong. So like I say, not maybe massively high up on my TBR, because maybe this one sounds a little bit same. But having said that, because it's getting really good reviews and because I am obviously a fan of thrillers, This one is on my TBR and I'm looking forward to it being released in March. And then my bookworm friends, book number 10 in today's video, being the last book that I'm going to share with you today, is this one. This one is called Don't Tell Me How to Die, and the author is Marshall Karp. This is another one that is getting excellent reviews by people who have read the ARC copies. It's currently sitting on a 4.58 on Goodreads. It's going to be published in early March. The expected publication date is the 4th of March. Right, so my friends, in closing out this video, listen to what this book is going to be about. I have one thing to do before I die, and time is running out. I had it all, a fantastic husband, 2 great kids, an exciting career, and then at the age of 43, I found out I would be dead before my next birthday. My mother also died at 43. I was 17, and she warned me that women would flock to my suddenly single father like stray cats to an overturned milk truck. And they did. And one absolutely evil woman practically destroyed his life, mine, and my sister's. I am not going to let that happen to my family. I have 3 months, and I plan to spend every waking minute searching for the perfect woman to take my place as Alex's wife and mother to Kevin and Katie. You're probably thinking she'll never do it. Did I mention that in high school I was voted most likely to kill someone to get what she wants? So we have here, friends, a thriller from author Marshall Karp. I'm just trying to see what else it says here. It just says that he is very well known for creating an array of 3-dimensional characters, and he has books with many twists and turns. So anyway, I just thought that this one sounded really, really interesting. Very interesting that you're dealing with a character that knows she's going to die in 3 months, and she's trying to find basically a lovely woman to replace her in the family and in her position in the family. So definitely a very unique concept. I can't say I've read anything like that before. And so yes, very happy that this one is going to be released in March and that it's something that sounds so appealing to me. Right, my friends, on that note, wow, that was quite a lot to get through. 10 new novels coming out in March that just sound absolutely fantastic. There are probably, I would say, 4 or 5 on this list that I am really desperate to read. Anyway, if you guys know of any books, and they don't necessarily have to be thrillers, that are coming up in the next month or 2 and that you think I should get my hands on, please make sure to comment down below in the comment section and let me know so that I can check out those novels. And on that note, my friends, I am going to sign off and say happy reading, bookworms. Bye!